Hi everyone, this is Glenn Fleury from Boardgames and Bourbon, and I would like to talk to you about Unpub 7, which was a convention I went to this week in Baltimore. And what you do at this convention is a little different than some of the others because it's games that are not yet published. So it's a lot of people trying to get feedback on their games, some games that are about to get to Kickstarter, and it's an interesting and neat little environment. So I want to tell you what it was about and what went on there, the highlights. Some of the games to look forward to and some of the people I ran into. Okay, first of all, highlights. One, when you walk in the door, they handed you a free game, so that was cool. This is Epic PvP. I'll do a review on it. This is the number 2 expansion, and basically it's a person-to-person fighting game, a battle game. You can play it with 4 people, but the box has 2 in it. Pretty simple, not that many cards. Highlights. As soon as I walked in the door, I saw Renegade Games, and I said hello, and that was wonderful. I told them a bad dog joke, and Scott and I talked about Bourbon of the Month Club. That was cool, and they recognized the channel from having the TV screen around it. That was really cool. Also, I found out that I should listen to the Rich Summer podcast. Apparently it's right after the heart of Board Games and Bourbon because he has a mixed drink on there all the time. That's pretty sweet. I got some food. I saw Daniel Solis. He has a bunch of games you might want to check. I was talking to this guy who just had this huge, big, tasty looking sandwich that looked like it was meant to feed like a family of 20. And then I realized who it was later when I was looking through literature. Really cool guy and great hair. Love that guy's hair. Okay, some of the games to look for. 1, Dice Runners by Dave Wilkinson. This is basically, it was a prototype of a game where Dave Wilkinson, by the way, designed Castles at Calydale, which is published by Renegade, of all things. And in Dice Runners, as it's called right now, he has this game where it's these scenarios, and you're rolling dice to activate powers. There's also a timed element to it. Where everyone has to roll within a certain amount of time, and you're rolling the dice to get what you need to break through the door and get powers to help you in the future, all while being pursued by a ever-growing horde of monsters from behind you and occasionally from in front of you. So you're really mitigating circumstances. You're trying to make it to a spaceship, and maybe you'll fit. Maybe you won't. It's really, there's a lot of variability. That was a fun one. That takes about 30 minutes, 3 to 5 people. That was really good. Also tried out by Steve Cole of Velocity Games, Discount Time Travel. It was a book-oriented game where you're trying to shift dates around to get books published, and it pays homage to Chrononauts with dates and flipping cards. And our game, I think, had 4 people, and I didn't win. I thought I won, so look for that. The Velocity Games has produced Iliad, Les Miserables, which I reviewed. In connection with him, designer Nick Ferris was there. Nick Ferris had a game that was gangbusters. Everyone was loving it, and I can't find the name of it. But it was doing really well. Look up Nick Ferris on Twitter. He's a good guy. Let's see, what else do we have here? 3 more games for you. Kibble Scuffle by Whistle Pig. Kibble Scuffle, which is about cats trying to get fed. And that one looked like everyone was having a really good time. My wife participated in that. She was enthused. I've never had my wife talk about games for days, and she's still talking about it, which is really, really cool. So Kibble Scuffle, look for that one, and look up Whistle Pig. Find out what they're about. Lastly, now of course I didn't try out all the games at the convention, but bar none, Sailing Towards Osiris by Daily Magic Games was awesome. It is a game where it's a worker placement game where you're trying to build the most monuments to yourself to become the new pharaoh. I believe this is the storyline of it. And basically you're going down the Nile and you're building monuments and you're trying to get resources. But as you build resources, as you all build resources, you're constricting resources. And you're building on land. The land is no longer available to gain resources from. You're fighting over workers. You're fighting over who goes first. If somebody decides to build this monument, someone else can't build that monument because you're taking up those resources. Some of your workers, if you get master workers, can move ahead and they can try to bring resources and bring it back to where you are. It was really immersive. The game took about 90 minutes, engaged the entire time. I can't believe it was a 90-minute game. It looks great. It's not in its final state. It might be changed a little bit, but look for Sailing Towards Osiris by Daily Magic Games. Their Twitter is like _Daily Magic _. I believe that's what their Twitter is. Okay, so that's a really brief overview of Unpub. It's really a cool little thing. If you get a chance, look that up, see what it's about. If you're near Baltimore, people were coming from all over for it. That was really cool. The venue this year had less people than last year, but I actually think it was better than the year before. Less people meant you had more opportunities to sit at a table, and it's so quaint that you can pretty much say hi to anyone you want. And boy, everyone there, for the most part, I'm going to say 99 out of 100, are so easy to talk to. It's like talking to old friends that you met for the first time. So, okay. So check those out and talk to you later.